This is Nick Baisley from FilmSnobbery.com. I'm here at the Orlando Film Festival. We're on the last day of the festival, but I have the pleasure to welcome a multi-hyphenate filmmaker here, director, producer, etc., of The Last Legend. Sir, introduce yourself to the people.
My name is Brant Hadfield, and like the gentleman just said, I'm the writer, producer, director, editor, sound designer of The Last Legend.
Tell us a little bit about The Last Legend. What's it about?
The Last Legend is a fictional tale that takes a piece of American history that we all know about, and puts that into today. It mixes the past with today in sort of a fictional way that involves a young woman who's trying to learn the secret of uncovering the secret of a legend, of a rhyme that her grandmother that's been passed down in her family. And so she journeys to a farm far away from where she lives to try to uncover this mystery.
Why was this the story that you wanted to tell? Like, what made this? You're gonna say this is my project.
Well, I like the idea of a mystery that you reveal very slowly to an audience. I don't like giving things away. I don't like telling them too much, and I like the sense of mystery, suspense, of not being really sure what's going on, and set in sort of an Old West motif, with those colors and the elements of that. The truth is, though, that this film came about sort of in reverse order of the way films normally happen. Most of the time you have a script, which means you have to go find a place to shoot, you have to find the props, you need to find the actors. This started very, very small, and basically I got some camera equipment, and I had about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks to finish a film for a local festival. And I had a farm, I had a couple of props, and I had a horse, and I had some actors. And from there, I created a story that would involve all of those. And the actors were not even actors.
I was going to ask, where did you get the actors from? Where did they come from?
One of them came from about 100 yards from my house, which is my neighbor's house. One of them is my neighbor, and two of the others were at the farm when I was doing some test shooting out there. One of the interesting things about the film is that nobody ever suspects any of this about it. And initially, after I finished it and I started sending it to festivals, I tried to keep that kind of quiet because I thought, well, that's going to prejudice people and nobody's going to take this seriously. And I asked some people, and they said, no, you want to tell people about that. That's what this is all about. You didn't do this on a tens of thousands or frankly even hundreds of dollars a budget. You did it all your own, and it doesn't look like that. So people need to know.
Now you're working with a horse on something like this. What do you have any stories as far as was there any difficulty shooting with a horse, especially as shooting on this low a budget where you don't have maybe necessarily all the time, money in the world to keep redoing it or to do it a special way or even the right way? I don't know, either way how you want to say it.
Yeah. Animals, shooting photography, video especially with animals or small children, it's about the same, and it's almost impossible to do at times. And definitely, the first time we shot video of this horse on what I called the horse walk, the young woman is walking with the horse across this farm, all in the golden hour. So we have a very limited amount of time to get this stuff done and get it shot in the can. The horse on the first day did not want to cooperate. He basically wanted to eat grass the whole time. So
don't we all?
Well, some people like to do other things with the grass, but not necessarily eat it, although I guess you can. So the horse was not really hooked up right with the bridle and all that stuff. And in the process of walking around with it, it kept fighting and all this stuff. So, it was definitely a challenge. And really the whole film being shot in the golden hour with virtually no crew, it was a challenge to get all of the footage shot that I needed, edited, in time for the deadline of this first festival.
And let's skip ahead to the festival kind of experience that you've had. You're here at the Orlando Film Festival. Have you applied to a lot of other festivals as well?
Over the course of the last year, I've applied to maybe 15 festivals. I've gotten into about half of them, I guess.
And is there a reason for that? Have you done a lot? Did you do a lot of research before you went and did, or was it more of the shotgun approach?
It was a shotgun approach, and it was a bit of a trial and error approach because the first version of this film, had a lot of gaping holes in it because it was done on such a tight deadline. So I went back and added things to help explain stuff that was sort of assumed the first time around. And I've seen the result of that as I filled in these gaps that getting accepted into bigger and better festivals, and has won a couple of awards and was nominated for Best Short in this festival.
And when you found out that you were nominated for Best Short here, I mean, did that help justify the work that you put into this? And does it give you the confidence to go forward on something bigger next time?
Well, I think it does that. I think to the first part of your question, it vindicates to some degree the amount of time I've spent going back into it and fixing things, because a lot of filmmakers probably hear from friends and family, it's time to move on, do another project, wash the clothes, whatever. But if you go back and if you really care about the product and what you've done, you want to make it as right as possible. And the result of that is that you're doing things to the film that needed to be done to make it much better. And the fruits of that are the rewards of that. It gets into better festivals, and you get to meet, great people and see, better films and make connections that way.
And what is, from this festival, what's the biggest thing that you've gotten out of this festival? I mean, obviously the nomination was excellent, but from, whether it be a networking perspective, seeing other films, interacting with other filmmakers, the panel that they had, whatever it was, what was the biggest lesson or thing that you've gotten from this that you're going to take with you on your next project or to the next festival that you're going to be at?
I think that the connections that I've met some people, filmmakers who have made films that were many, many thousands of dollars shorts, incredibly impressive, what I would consider many of them to be Hollywood standards in terms of production value and acting, and to be able, we found that we have common ground. My background comes from broadcast journal, from news. I shot and edited TV news. I didn't come from film school. I've never been formally trained in it. I've never worked with film before. For my film, I used a lettuce and an adapter, a 35 adapter, and an HVX. They're talking film, which fascinates me because I would love to work with it. So, making these connections with these people who've done such incredible work, and finding we have a lot of common ground and a lot of things we can talk about and learn from each other. And for me, getting exposed to people who come from a purely film background is incredibly educational, and it's enjoyable.
Well, we're happy to have you here at the Orlando Film Festival. I want to congratulate you on the nomination. Do you have an idea of what you're going to be doing next?
Yes, I've been asked to shoot, to DP a film project. It is a quote-unquote, it's not a zombie film, but it does involve zombies. It's a bit of a similar to I Am Legend. It's a psychological thriller more than it is a zombie film, and that's something that someone's asked me to shoot. I'm not a big fan of zombie films, but it's a really good screenplay. So that's my next project.
Well, congratulations and good luck on your next project, sir. And we hope to see you here next year with that project.
Thank you.
Yay!